What's up, everybody? TYT Sports on Pluto TV. Hope you're enjoying your week. On Tuesday, Donald Trump was elected President of the United States, and on Friday, we have 3 fantastic sports stories for you today. If you're watching on YouTube and you're seeing these as 3 separate clips, well, then it's Thursday, and you are lucky because you get it a little bit early, but it's still 2 days after the fact that they elected Donald Trump President of the United States of
And I'm
America.
still having Irish coffee. I'm an Irish coffee for life.
Here's a really quick fun story. My friends kept saying MAGA, like jokingly, like screaming it at me through text messages, and I'm so friggin' blind. I was, make America great again. Oh, so I kept responding with a previous story we did on this show. Mawa, make America woo again. According to Ric Flair, he put out a poll that had him with 47%.
I thought you had him with 180% of the 100% vote.
Flair, Flame, 2016. Maybe they'll be back in 2020. Francis, let's get into it, though, because Dwyane Wade is the subject of conversation. To start us off, he finally really opened up about why he left the Miami Heat, and a lot of it had to do with business, a lot of things that we kind of already knew, maybe some communication breakdown. I have a lot of quotes to go through, a lot of context, but he did talk to the media a lot in his most recent game with the Chicago Bulls. So let's get to the first of these 5 quotes, and I'll kind of contextualize as we go along. So Dwyane Wade's talking about respect in the fact from the Miami Heat organization. He said, that's it. When you get respect, that's what you want back or what you get back. I've given nothing but respect. I feel like a lot of things in this world, in this league, are mishandled from the notion of communication, and that's it. He continues to say, at the end of the day, I talked to those guys, and I told them, and he's referring to Pat Riley, the Miami Heat, LeBron James, it's a free agency. I understand you all have a job to do, and I have a job to do as well. I let it be known I was going to be a free agent, and I wasn't waiting by the phone for them to call me. He continues to say once again, and that's when things started changing. They decided to max out Chris Bosh, which I was all for, and then it became a situation for me from the standpoint that I wasn't happy with it. I ain't going to say, oh, I was happy, go lucky. Then I opted out again, and next year I signed that 1-year, $20 million deal because I never made $20 million in a season. I wanted multiple years. They wanted to be players in free agency. I understand that. You can come back. So we can get into the other quotes in just a minute, but it's a lot of reading, a lot of quotes, a lot of context. Francis, I feel like this was speculated, but for once in a blue moon, the speculation was correct. It was miscommunication. It was communication issues. It was just business, and that's what we were told a couple months ago. It turns out it was just business, and he seems understanding of that.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's a very professional sports person. Dwyane Wade is if you're looking at someone to maybe look to as a role model in the NBA, this is definitely one of those guys. He handles himself well. Great player, great professional, still performing unbelievably well considering the guy's just rolling back the years. Managed to develop a 3-point shot in his latter years of his career. Has that ever been heard of? Not really sure. But it's understandable. What fans of the game and fans of Dwyane Wade sometimes find it hard to understand is they feel like nostalgia plays a large role when it comes to getting those legendary players to continue. But it's a business. We consistently say this on this show. There's very few players out there that will be able to kind of manipulate an industry to the point where they don't have any other choice but to side with him. LeBron James is one of them. Oh, yeah. Dwyane Wade's not LeBron James for the Miami Heat. Obviously, he's a little older. Maybe Dwyane Wade in his prime, pretty sure he got his max contracts, pretty sure he was able to manipulate, not in a bad way, but the Miami Heat so that they were able to offer him.
He was able to manipulate in favor of the Heat's organization by never taking the most money,
and he
which
was
allowed Bosh to come down
adjust
and allowed LeBron and
because he
allowed
wanted the
Ray
championship more than the money. That's what it comes to. But I'm not going to hold it against the guy for now that he's moving to the latter stages of his career, trying to make as much money as possible. And if the Heat are going to offer max contracts to Bosh, as you mentioned there, and they're going to offer max contracts out, and they're only going to give him one-year deals when he wants to maybe stay there for several years and find a way to be able to make money before he goes on and retires. And that doesn't weigh up with what their business strategy is, then he's going to move elsewhere. Like, he has done everything that he possibly could have done for that team. He won them championships. He was a staple of that organization for years. He was a phenomenal athlete for them. So moving to Chicago was the right move for him. And I don't think he holds any sort of grudge. We have already managed to kind of vocalize how we feel about those handful of fans that were burning Dwyane Wade jerseys. Like,
it's the worst thing
really awful. They're next to the people that deliberately cut in front of you in a car and then slow down, and next to those guys who wear their phone on their belts when it could so easily fit in their pocket. That's who I'm putting you next to.
It's a deep, deep, dark place. From Chicago. He's born in Chicago.
Yeah.
went to Oaklawn, if I'm reading this. Oaklawn, I'm sorry, it was a high school in Oaklawn, Harold L. Richards High School. Like, he also went home. It's not like just like he left Miami. He also went to go like retire in Chicago, which is a fantastic city.
Yeah.
Take him. He's good. The Bulls, they now going through a little rough patch, just as Dwyane Wade put it in the press conference just the other day. 7 games in the season, man, it's hard to win. You know, and we're motivated. We're going to win. We're going to continue to win. We're going to find ways to battle through the losses, and we're a new team. Dwyane Wade understands more than anybody else, I'd say, in the league, outside for a few players, how much sacrifice it takes to win games and how difficult it can be to get into a new situation and find winning ways. This is a guy who had Shaq come in.
Yeah.
At the very end of his end of his prime for Shaq, but just enough to get Wade just enough what he needed to get that championship. And then he had to a whole U-turn and give, as Colin Cowherd calls it, the keys to the city to LeBron, the keys to his city to LeBron James.
To win.
And then LeBron had to go, and he figured something out with Chris Bosh for just a little bit. He's gone through what Dwyane Wade, again, you mentioned he's a high IQ player. He's a smart guy on the court. He's also a smart guy off the court. And he's the type of guy that you would think that even in 2, 3, 4 years in a locker room situation as a veteran, he's someone I can see winning one more championship in a very like Tim Duncan-esque role.
Ray
with
Allen-esque
like,
way.
yeah, like a 7 or 8 minutes a game type of guy, but or even what Paul Pierce has been doing, or did, not last year, but the year before with the Wizards, hitting those clutch buckets. And that presence in the locker room is something that I really think that when it comes to Dwyane Wade, who's not going to maybe want the crazy contract in his final year. So I think Dwyane Wade gets one more championship. I don't know with who, though. I think he just does. Maybe probably the Bulls.
You're looking at that picture there on the bottom that we have there. It's him just kind of being nurturing and towards Jimmy Butler, a player that I think will thrive playing alongside Dwyane Wade. Jimmy Butler already shown promise to be one of the best two-way guards in the league and really is an well-rounded player. And with someone like Dwyane Wade, that's, of course, at the forefront of the Bulls' mindset when they're trying to get a guy like this in. They're not thinking, we're going to get Dwyane Wade in, we're going to try and squeeze every last bit of athleticism, every last bit of clutchness. Did I just invent that?
Clutch factor.
The clutch factor of him. Yeah, you want that, but he's also coming in as that mature figure that's going to help and grow these players that have showed promise, and he's going to be able to be the glue to help mature them through a situation. I remember when we watched them last year, the amount of times that you see him taking Hassan Whiteside to the side for the Miami Heat and being like, all right, come on, you need to get your head focused on this. He is more of a coach-like figure on the court as well as he is a player now, and I think that is sometimes that's it's invaluable than him being able to drain buckets consistently.
I like that word, invaluable.
Invaluable.
Invaluable.